Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Quick Reviews. Um, this week was a slow week for me as far as my pull list, as I only get one book. But being a slow week, I decided to try a new number one and actually get a couple of a few back issues. Mostly, a couple of really recent back issues. But no, all are really old back issue as well. Um, so I'll try to be very quick with the books because I was tagged by Comic Order 410 for the unread books tag, and um, I usually, you know, read all of my books as soon as I get them. Um, I've always, been able to read all of my books. I usually don't have a very large pull list week by week. So even when I was, working at an office, I had like about an hour for lunch, and I worked really nearby, really close to the shops that I go to. Um, so I was able to read my books, during lunch, my lunch break, or on the way back home as well, or right, before I left to go home, and work was kind of low, would read my book. So uh, I didn't really have so I've always read my books, but I was reminded that there is one book that I haven't read, and I won't read for a while actually, but we'll get to that at the end of the video of this video, plus a couple of reminders, so I'll get right down to the books and not try to spend too much time in them. So first up, Superman Wonder Woman number 7. So in my last video last week, I did mention how much I disliked Action Comics number 30. I thought for the most part it was a good book, but that whole Harrow scene, which probably took like half the book, was just horrible. The writing was horrible. Well, not that the writing was horrible, but the whole speech was horrible because just what was the same old thing, that I've heard that million times before. Typical supervillain speech, whatever. That brought my enjoyment of the book uh down a bit. Like I said, you know, in my last video, I enjoyed it at a first read, but reading it and thinking about the book, you know, it like I said, it went from being here to being pretty much here, really really low in my liking. So Superman Wonder Woman number 7 being um, in fact the second part to the whole prelude to the Doomed crossover from next that starts next month. Um, you know, like Action Comics number 30, it did have a really bad moment. Um, I've been liking pretty much the whole Doomsday thing. You know, sounds interesting. The tower, uh, I was intrigued by it when it was first mentioned. But now that we know what the tower is, I'm not liking them as much. So this is the second part to the whole prelude story, and So this issue actually takes place several months after last issue's explosive, pun intended, ending. Uh, Several months. So the main story takes, pretty much uh, in the present of the DCU. This book has actually, for the first arc, has been noted or has noted that it takes place before a lot of the stuff that is currently happening. So this issue pretty much catches up to everything that's been happening in the other books. So this story probably took place between maybe after Throne of Atlantis, somewhere around there, before Trinity War. Pretty much, I think like a year behind. It was like a year behind um, all the other books, and it's not. And of course, it's been a while since they've been together. In that sense, probably last issue, where through a flashback, we actually get to see what happened after the nuclear explosion. So we get in detail the attack by the tower that was mentioned in Action Comics number 30. And from there we go through the first moments of recovery from the explosion, and probably a whole bunch of other stuff that happened after that, maybe including Forever Evil, and then we get caught up here in the present. So the present stuff um, actually deals more with their relationship after the explosion. As you recall, back in issue number 6, Superman said to Wonder Woman, "I love you," and Wonder Woman herself, was a little bit cold about it. Like they've mentioned, pretty much the same reaction that Han Solo had. Uh, I don't remember, you know, they mentioned that moment where, like, yeah, I know. But after, being in the middle of in the center of a nuclear explosion, real, now that was a really life-changing moment. And we see the awkward stage gone, and so now they're more comfortable. They're in a bit of a romantic bliss as well, which contrasts with the Doomsday scenes. Uh, During the Doomsday scenes, we see the tower still following Doomsday, and this is what really made me not like this book as much. And that's because they know who Doomsday is, what he's capable of doing, and yet, some guys at the top of, the brass, the higher ups in the tower, actually want to capture Doomsday. I mean, that's kind of like stupid. I mean, if you know what Doomsday is and what he's capable of doing, you wouldn't, dare try to capture him or risk your personnel to do it or worry about Doomsday being hurt. I mean, it's Doomsday. You should worry more about yourself than, harming Doomsday. And, as I was reading this scene, I was like, idiots. I mean, what do you worry about Doomsday? You should worry about yourselves and your crew, your people. But once Doomsday goes and breaks their submarine, I was like, yeah, all right, told you so. But that was like the only eye rolling, groaning, you know, head slapping moment that sort of brought this issue down. But it contrasts with the present scenes because they're right now in even the dialogue mixing when you think about the whole doomsday thing is like good luck, enjoy this moment because it's not going to last. And I really like the way Charles Soule uh, was able to create a lot more impact, with Doomsday as it pertains to our lead characters. So, if I were to rate this issue, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. While I would give, action a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Good stuff. So the issue that I decided to try, the new number one, you'd be surprised. It's a Marvel title. It's Nightcrawler number one by Chris Claremont and Todd Nauck. I love this issue, and this is classic Nightcrawler. This is written by Mr. X-Men himself, Chris Claremont. Uh, and while Claremont is usually known for being very wordy because he comes from that generation of writers, I actually felt that this issue was a pretty quick read. Yet, Claremont was able to tell us everything. Who Nightcrawler is. We get the typical introduction to the other characters. We get the cheesy dialogue from the villain. So while it felt like a quick read where there went a lot of words, even from Claremont, you get well, it is a bit wordier, but not like it used to be. We get a little bit of action, a little bit of personal moments, and the introduction to the whole plot. So I really really enjoyed it. So I'm not gonna complain about having to pay $3.99 for a 28-page book with a rather flimsy cover, which I am afraid to read too much or reread this book a lot because I feel like that the cover might come apart at any moment. So, but I'll be picking up this as long as it lasts, and this being Marvel, it won't probably last long. So now on to the back issues. Relentless number 29. So I've been really trying to get this book for a couple of weeks now. I couldn't get it when it originally came out because it comes out at the end of the month, which is a really heavy week for me, uh, book wise. So I thought I was going to be able to get it last uh, the week after, but I actually only went to one shop that day, and while I could have picked it up there, I decided to pick up Aquaman and the others. Uh, Number one instead of this one. So I finally did last week, when I went and picked up my new books, my new book, and decided to try Nightcrawler. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book a lot, and it's a really good jumping on point, by the way. This is something that I've been liking a lot about DC, is that most of their books, you can pick up any random issue and you know get the story and really understand what's going on. I mean, Superman Wonder Woman number 7 has its own little story. It's got its ongoing subplot. Right now, Doomsday is a subplot, and you get to know what happened, in previous issues. For this book, the main story actually most of the book just focuses on uh, Supergirl as a Red Lantern, and what Guy Gardner's going to do with her. Probably he was looking for Superman to give her to you know um to sorry goes to Superman to tell Superman about Supergirl, and you're his family, so you take care of her because I can't. You know, uh, so that was fun, but at the same time, um, with this issue, if you've never read Red Lanterns before, it tells you everything you need to know about, what it entails being a Red Lantern. You get a full story here, and the ongoing thread. I actually know what the ongoing thread is because I picked up that flip book in issue 28. Green Lantern, Red Lantern number 28 was a flip book. So I kind of um, know what went on, what the ongoing thread for the series is. But even if you don't know what the ongoing thread is, you actually just get this last page, this last couple of pages, this page here, uh, and this page here, uh, about the whole situation with atrocities. But you don't really need to know anything about what's been going on with the book, uh, because those two if that last page uh, actually hooks you in, you will learn what's going on, along with Guy Gardner and his faction of the Red Lanterns. So I really enjoyed this book, and like I said, I'm not really too happy about having to pick up another book just to follow Supergirl's story. Not because I didn't like this book, but because I have such a limited amount of resources and a limited amount of books that I pick up, that sometimes adding an extra book is not, at this point in time, not something that I'm looking forward to doing. I've already been adding a lot of books recently, so another one is a little bit, kind of heavier for me. So I'll probably be continue to pick up this book for as long as I can within the whole Supergirl thing. Whenever I can, on a slow week like this past week. The other book that I picked up, which is a back issue, is Skyman number 3 from Dark Horse Comics. Actually, this book, I was actually looking for it when it actually came out, and apparently my shop didn't get it or something because it didn't show up until last week. And I mean, this is from March, and issue number 4 is supposed to come out this week. So yeah, it took me a while to get this book, and I would look for it, like every week in their. They actually, have tables in my large shop, and they can only put so many books. So other books, they have them in a half box. So I will look for those books at that box just to see if this would show up, and it showed up this week. This actually features a guest appearance by Captain Midnight, and I've been really enjoying this book for because it sort of I've mentioned it before. This um approach to much more pure heroism from classic superheroes from the 40s, 50s, 60s, where heroes just do things because it was the right thing to do. There's a lot of social commentary as to how things have actually changed where Captain Midnight himself created all this amazing technology to help mankind, and now it's been corrupted for military purposes. So you have somebody like Skyman, Sergeant Eric Reed, um, who is a hero by conviction, unlike the people involved in the Skyman project who believe themselves to be heroes because they've been told that they are heroes. They're like heroes by indoctrination. So again, they do this, or Project Skyman has been doing, bringing out Skyman to work for the government, and they've been told they're doing it for the right reasons, by defending, America from foreign threats, despite the fact that there might be collateral damage. It's the mission that counts and nothing else. So it's the very focus of, you know, military mentality, soldier mentality. You know, you get the order, you do the mission, and the heck with the rest of the world. And Reed, who worked for the military, I think he was in the Air Force, is um, you know, convinced of doing the right thing. Just pure selflessness. Issue number two showed a bit of that, like I mentioned so long ago, and so here it continues. It picks up where issue two left off. Reed steals the Skyman uniform. The people from the Skyman project are following him. They all have prototype belts. The belt actually is what fueled pretty much the uniforms, the uniform. But this is the good one, and the other people have prototypes that are quite unstable. So everybody's got like a prototype Skyman thing. So it's Captain Midnight versus a whole bunch of crazy Skymen, led by keep forgetting him, his handler. Um, Let me see. Oh yeah, Lieutenant Sharp. So no, I can't wait to see how this ends, and where Mr. Reed, where Sergeant Reed is going to go from this point on. Okay, finally, um, action at the Adventures of Superman number 462. Uh, so I showed last week for 61. This is the other one that my shop had for 62, and I actually this was like the last book I read, and uh, that I read actually after I finished reading all of my books. I actually read it at Thursday night, because I actually already read this story. It was reprinted in this trade paperback from 1994, from 1994. So I didn't want to reread again, or at least immediately, because I pretty much knew in the story, but I actually did get to reread it again. So that's another book for another addition to my Superman collection. And of course, this freebie from Dark Horse, this 20th anniversary Hellboy sampler, which I thought was like the coolest freebie I've ever gotten in my life. Uh, you know, I know Marvel, sometimes does this sort of little preview freebies as well. Um, or they're like a whole like the story of a specific character, to get the readers pumped for like a new title, whatever. I never really read any Hellboy, so I just thought it was pretty cool. So those are my books for this week, or from last week. Uh, so now I'll be doing the unread book tag. Like I said, Comic Quarter 410 tagged me, and like I said, I usually read all of my books. Um, uh, and as soon as I get them, or well after, I don't really buy a lot of books. But there is one book I haven't read, and I won't be reading for a while, which is Ultimate X-Men. So I've actually read, well, let's go back. When when Ultimatum started, or was about to start, my shop actually, this book was in my playlist, Ultimate X-Men. In fact, I picked up all the Ultimate books except the Ultimate Fantastic Four, so it was like Ultimate Spider-Man, all the Ultimates, Ultimate X-Men, and the few Ultimate miniseries. So Ultimatum comes along. They pretty much destroy the entire Ultimate universe. Well, it's they don't destroy it, but they create this situation where you know there's a lot of destruction and death. So when this was happening, uh, a few books didn't start to show up in my pool. Um, Actually, the same thing happened with Daredevil. At the end of the Anti-Diggle run, my shop wasn't getting me my books, uh, or they weren't getting the books, so I have like a large gap at the end of those runs. So I don't remember if I actually dropped the book or because of the delays, or because I wasn't getting my books. So when I have a full run of Ultimate Spider-Man, except for the Requiem issues, I did not get the full run of Ultimate X-Men. Uh, so last year I actually reread my entire run and decided to pretty much, you know, pick up the rest of the books. So I usually like to pick up those books, if I can, in a chronological order. So uh, I actually said, well, I think there are like 100 issues left of Ultimate X-Men. So I just need like 6 issues, which isn't a lot. And my shops actually, well, my smaller shop had all of the books that I needed, like I mentioned before. They After the last convention, all of their back issues are gone, except for like 5 boxes with new stuff. And the larger shop I go to has almost all of them, but not all of them. you know. And I started to focus on other things, so the only book I've bought was issue 95. So now I need, the other 5 issues. Uh, so I decided not to read uh, any of these books until I had the full run. Got and read the last issues of the of Ultimate X-Men, and with 95 through 100. So I should have finished this run a while back, actually, and I went and focused on other things. My Superman collection, uh, Ghost, from Dark Horse. I started to pick up a few of the Volume 2 issues, and I actually forgot that I needed to finish my Ultimate X-Men. So now I have to get the last 5 issues of this, the last 5 issues of this, so I could get to read the rest of this run uh, before the Requiem stuff, which you know I really didn't want to pick up anyway. So just get the full 1 through 100. I'm actually even missing a couple of annuals. That they did with the Fantastic Four, I believe. So yeah, so this is the only book that I haven't read, and I won't read it until I finally finish the Ultimate X-Men run. Okay, so like I said, so that's the um, unread book tags. I don't really want to tag anyone. I mean, it took me a while to actually do it. I actually saw the video, you know, Common Hoarder's video last week, I believe. I've been kind of behind on my videos as well. I'm trying to catch up on all of your videos. Pretty much done with, almost got caught up, but and the new videos keep popping up. So I won't be tagging anyone for the unread books tag. Going over 32 minutes now, but a lot of stuff to cover. Finally, a reminder about my contest. You have until April 30th. Please start getting your entries in so that I can know if I should actually buy the trade. If I have no entries for the first part, I won't be able to do the second part, which is the drawing. So please start getting your entries in. Like I said, check out Quick Reviews number 8. That explains everything and how you can send your entries. Again, it's very simple, just a Q&A. You ask me whatever you want to know about me, but you have to give me your answer to that very question, so I get to know a little bit about you as well, and I'll answer all of those questions in May, early May, and then those entries will serve for part 2, where I will be giving away a trade with one of my favorite stories plus a few books, and I won't show the other. It's a trade and a few more comics uh, that will be included, and I don't want to show the prices until start getting entries. Um, and the oh, give me a second. Okay, so some of the books that will be given away along with the trade are Submariner number 66, um, Luke Cage Powerman on number 18 and uh, number 18 and number 29, and Doctor Strange number 14. Um, so those are some of the books that I will be giving away. I might be adding a few others um, for the whole giveaway. So you know, some really nice books. I mean, they aren't like perfect. They do have a few issues with them, but that's how I pretty good reading copies at least. Um, again, um, so please get your entries in. You can actually, like I've mentioned before, you can send them through the comments. You can do a video response. You can send me a private message. You can do it via Twitter as well. Um, so you have until April 30th. So please don't delay because I need to know if you're interested so I could, get the trade. That will be the like the big prize for the contest. So that's it for today. Have a great week, and as I always say, until next time, keep smiling.